beautiful greetings and welcome to this budget channel. I'm Lara and I have been looking forward to this video today so much. So we are going to make lemon cake bars, and they are raw lemon cake bars. So in a previous video, which I'll leave a wee thing here, it's not an active thing that you can click on it and it sends it to the video. I still don't know how to do that, but it'll show you what it looks like. So if you fancy seeing that video, you can scroll back through my previous video list or one of the playlists. I think it might have been in a Thankfulness Thursdays playlist, but I can't quite remember. But anyway, it is there somewhere. But I was chatting about the fact that Slow Cooker Sundays is now also Slow Cooker Sundays and Budget Savvy Snacks. So every second Sunday I upload a video about making something. Over summertime the slow cooker doesn't get used as often, so I'm saving my meal ideas for that. Some new things to try and some old favourites for winter time more. Autumn and winter time and early spring. But over the summer, the focus is going to be more on budget savvy snacks, including kind of savoury snacks that are like mini meals to have on the go, things that are more kind of salady items that you could pack and take with you for a picnic, and also some sweet treats. So this is an example of one of those. Now the recipe this is something I haven't made for years, but when I have made it in the past, it was oh so good. It's from this book called Annie's Raw Food Kitchen, which has some amazing recipes in it. So I'll just describe what the ingredients are and then get started. So it says a cup of chopped almonds. Now I've got these to make life easier from Asda, and for the cup I'm going to use this crazy cat lady sized mug, but probably not right to the top because it's probably bigger than a standard size cup. So I'll probably do 3/4 of one of these crazy cat lady mugs of the chopped almonds. So I'm going to actually it says use a food processor, but my NutriBullet thing is I've just washed the pieces, so I'm not going to use that, but I'm going to use pestle and mortar, grind that up, and what it says 1.5 cups of pitted dates. Now this is all I've got, so this will have to do and they're going to need to be chopped very finely. It says 1 vanilla bean. See, I never really stick to recipes properly, like I'll just kind of improvise and maybe swap ingredients or leave things out sometimes, which is fair enough. We don't have to do it exactly to the letter, but it'll still turn out good, I'm sure. Even if the texture isn't quite the same, I'm sure it'll be just as edible. So I'm going to use some vanilla extract instead of the vanilla bean. So for some reason my film cut out and I just lost some. What a shame. Right, so I'm going to have to retrace my steps of what I was saying. I was running through the list of ingredients, just talked about the vanilla extract instead of the vanilla bean. So I'm going to use either 1 or 2 wee toe teaspoons. It's, I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty sure it's, I'm sorry if I've got this wrong, is it a Yorkshire flower, I think. I love that, it's a really pretty design. So 1 teaspoon of sea salt will be a couple of twists of this, Atlantic sea salt. Zest of a lemon and juice of a lemon, which is here, check. And the final ingredient is a cup of shredded coconut. Ta-da! So it's not really got very many ingredients at all. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 ingredients. Very straightforward to make. The beauty of it is no cooking required, which is a godsend, because as you can see with my kitchen, I really don't have cooking facilities. I have an air fryer and slow cooker, rice cooker. I think that's it. Oh, and well, it's not for cooking, but other things like the NutriBullet thing, but having access to some raw food recipes is a godsend, especially over summer. It will come in handy. I love this book. It's called Annie's Raw Food Kitchen. It's a great book. I haven't used it for years, but it has some awesome recipes in it. Lemon coconut bars I made a few years back, and they are so good. So it will be great to explore this again with you today. This is my first use of it since kind of re-engaging with the book after all these years. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great thing to explore over the summer. So anyway, as far as method is concerned, it says use a food processor, but I'm going to use pestle and mortar because my NutriBullet's just been, all the wee bits have been cleaned, so I can't use that just now. So I'm going to use the pestle and mortar to break this down more, so that I've got some that's like, it describes it as like a kind of nut flour. That will go into the bottom of here. And this is really, in an ideal world, I'd be using a square one or a rectangular one rather than round. But because, as you can see with the kitchen, it's like my big savings goal to try and get this kitchen done eventually. There's a lot needing done. And at the moment, I have very little in the way of storage space, not many cupboards. Some fell off the wall and there's a lack of storage space. So because of the fact I don't have a cooker at the moment, a lot of my kind of cooking related stuff is stored away because there's no point having it cluttering up the kitchen when I can't even use it at the moment. So I don't know where my square or rectangular shaped kind of cookware would even be. So I'm going to just have to make do with the round one. I might even try and shape the edges so that it's more like a rectangle or a square. Well, it'd be a square, I guess. So we'll see. Anyway, so the nutty flour goes in the bottom. And then it says, in a mixing bowl, mix the remaining ingredients. So everything else goes in as is, but these get chopped up into wee tiny pieces. And does the zest go in at that stage too? Yeah, literally everything else that I just listed. So it's just some of the nutty flour goes in the bottom, then so it won't stick to the bottom, I guess. And then I just chuck everything. I love these kind of one pot or one dish things. There's less washing up. So there'll be a little bit of washing up, but not much really. Everything will just get lobbed in here. It'll all get mixed really well, and it will all get squished into the pan. And I'll, as I say, try and shape it as best I can so they can actually be like bars. Then I'm going to chill it for a couple of hours, and when it comes out, cut it into squares, and then we could do a wee taste test. Yum! I think I already know it's going to be a positive experience. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and also in case I forget to mention later in the video, it keeps for 6 days in the fridge, which is pretty fantastic. So you could make a huge batch of this and it would last you. But the problem is you'd probably eat it very quickly, or I know I would. I don't think it would last 6 days. So just before we get started as well, I have some news. The video where I was talking about slow cooker Sundays and budget savvy snacks, we had a wee thing to vote where you could decide what you fancied me making first out of three oh my gosh, more coffee is needed, out of 3 amazing sounding recipes from this book that I've yet to try, and I'm very excited to try. So the 3 options were orange spiced bars, cheesecake, or carrot cake. So after that video, people voted in the comments below. Thanks to everybody that did. It was so fantastic to have you participate and give me feedback, and I want these videos to be about things that you would like to see me make, things that are frugal and delicious and nutritious, and that are things that would be useful to see. So it was really great to have your input, and I would really love it if in the comments section below, again, please let me know, would you like to do more of that kind of thing in the future, where, like, I guess you could say audience participation, where it's like I'll put a question out and then you can let me know what you think, or like voting for something out of a selection of slow cooker meals or snacky meals or whatever, what you fancy me making first. I will make them all, but drum roll, the winner, the one that will be made first, which will probably be in, I don't know if it'll be in 2 weeks time or 4 weeks time quite yet, because it will depend on when I get the online shopping and stuff like that. But the first one is going to be the cheesecake. Hooray! That had 8 votes. And then for July and August, the other 2, the carrot cake and the orange spice bars, they both had 6 votes each, so they were joint second. So I'm not quite sure what order. You can let me know what your preference would be if you want me to make. So June will be the cheesecake, and then July, would you rather it's the carrot cake or the orange spice bars? And whichever one you, I'll like add the votes from this video, and then we can see which one of those is going to be for July, and then August will be the other one. So although I put the videos out every 2 weeks, I'll probably do one time I'll do a sweet thing, and then another time it will be the, pardon me, it'll be the savoury. So it's like kind of mix and match of the 2 types of things over summertime. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. I'd say let's get cooking, but it's a raw recipe. Well, we'll see how that turns out. When I was mixing everything, I did accidentally spill extra vanilla extract in. So I'd say there's about 2 spoons, roughly. I'm sure it will just enhance the flavour anyway. But when I was first mixing it all together, I thought, it seems awful crumbly. I don't know if this is gonna bind or sort of gel together to make bars. I hope the chilling effect helps. But on the other hand, when I was then squishing it into the pan, and I couldn't do a square shape because there was so much mix, it filled the whole thing. So, pardon me. So yeah, we'll see. But what I think I'll do is when I take it out later and I cut it into squares and do a taste test, I'll like probably eat it from the middle, the inside to the out. I'm not planning to eat it all today, by the way. I will be good. Actually, I'm going to be visiting my mum later on, so I may well take some to share with her. If it can withstand the heat from the journey, I'm sure it can. It's actually very, very hot today. It's lovely. Feels nice and summery. So yeah, when I was at the squishing stage, it did seem to kind of gel together more than I was expecting. So fingers crossed, we'll see. I can't remember the consistency, if it was that crumbly or not when I made it before. I really can't remember. But I followed the recipe very, very closely, so hopefully it will all come together, literally. But also, this rice paddle for Japanese rice, cooked in the Japanese rice cooker, which I will end up doing a video at some point over the summer. I'm not quite sure when yet, but I'm going to do one to do with Japanese frugal snacky meals on the go that are Japanese, and it will involve using my Japanese rice cooker. You don't have to have a rice cooker to do them, but it's just I always burn Japanese rice or it doesn't work out. I find it difficult to do it on the hob. So it's been a godsend for me. I've had that rice cooker for nearly 20 years though. It's done very well. Touch wood, it keeps doing well. But yeah, it was a game changer for me buying that, because recently not as much, but usually I'd eat a lot more Japanese rice. So I'll share some snacky meal things that are frugal, healthy and delicious in a future video over the summer. Anyway, that's what this thing is used for, but it's actually very good as a sweet raw snack squisher as well. It now has an extra purpose as a tool, so that's good to know. So got about an hour and 50 minutes or so until it's ready, so see you then. Wah, 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 wah. Look at this. Epic fail. So I'm not sure what's gone wrong because I followed the recipe. I didn't chop these as finely as I could have. My smushing and squishing powers when mixing and combining aren't as good because I still don't have the strength returned in my right arm properly yet, because I'm still recovering from the breaks from falling in December. Excuse me for munching while I talk. Hold on. It's too tempting not to munch bits of this. I'm going to make an attempt to revive this. I'm going to add either honey or agave, whatever I can find like that. And I'm going to try forming it into balls and then I'm going to freeze it, and then we can try again. It's not going to taste like it should. It'll be sweeter, and I also forgot to add the salt earlier. But it's worth a try, and if not, if all else fails, it can be stuck in the freezer in a Ziploc bag, and it can be a very delicious topping to sprinkle over porridge in the morning. So it's not going to go to waste, but I have made these in the past successfully, so I'm really perplexed why it hasn't worked. Anyway, let's try plan B. Okay, let's give this another go. So I froze it for 1 hour. Took it out of the freezer about 5 or 10 minutes ago. And as I look at these, I'm thinking, uh-oh, I think they're still, still gonna be crumbly. But they might be not crumbly, non-crumbly enough that I can pop them in. Yeah, I think if I'm really careful. So I've put about half the mix in a bag as a porridge, tasty porridge topping, which will be great. I'm looking forward to that. It'll last for a few breakfasts. So it's not gone to waste, but it's a bit of a bummer. Sorry guys. Right. Sorry, it took forever to munch that. Oh my gosh. Right. So the flavour is 10 out of 10. It tastes out of this world. The texture is a big flaky flop. Ugh. Even with the honey. So I'll have to try again sometime. Off camera, I think, just see if I can figure it out. I don't get it, as I say, because it worked really well when I did it before a few years ago. I don't remember there being a problem. I remember it just being so delicious, and they were like squares, bar square things. They weren't flaky like this. So I think I want to give it another shot at some point, and if I figure out a way to make it work, I will definitely report back to you guys. But yeah, sorry. So to sum up, I highly recommend it for the taste. If you're happy to make it as a kind of tasty topping for something, but it's not going to work as a snack bar, you could have it as some kind of tasty trail mix, but not as a solid munchy thing, cakey munchy thing. So I'm still glad to have given it a go. It was fun to try. And my channel's not about perfection ever. It's just about being me, everyday life, frugal topics. And so things don't always work out. That's okay. It's all part of the experience, and I want to share that. So I hope you've still enjoyed the video today. I've definitely enjoyed trying this out, and it's a very tasty flop. So so I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and sending you frugal best wishes. See you again soon, and take care of yourselves. Thanks a million for watching. I'm gonna try and switch the off button and not use a sticky finger here. Bye.